We can have a beer night. You can drink harder stuff than that if you want. I was very sad to learn of the death of the actor Gene Wilder, or Jerome Silberman, as his bar mitzvah certificate said 70 years ago. Wilder lived to the age of 83, a lifetime and then some, according to the Psalms, where in our tradition a lifespan is 70 years. And thus, at 83, Gene Wilder would have celebrated his second bar mitzvah this year. But sadly, Alzheimer's disease sapped him of his memory and his strength. And as many in this congregation know from your own experiences in your own family, with your own loved ones, his last years were not full of life or memory, but both slipped away from him. I will always think of Gene Wilder from the Frisco Kid, or as he was called in the film, the rabbi who has no knife. As he was called then by a Native American, actually, in that film, in a moment when he was literally placed in a trial by fire for Torah. If you remember the scene, because I rewatched it again, I downloaded the movie. You've got to see it this weekend if you haven't. The Native American chief of this tribe has the Torah and is asking him what he would do, what he would risk for Torah. And they're placing Wilder over hot coals and flames, and he's prepared to endure that for Torah. It's a beautiful scene. For others, it was Blazing Saddles, or Young Frankenstein, or the producer's so many memorable roles. But perhaps the most iconic was of a smiling wonderment of Willy Wonka, which Wilder brought to life and to color for children of every age for the last 40 years. I grew up watching Willy Wonka. The movie came out just after my first birthday. My 46th is this Monday. And his death reminds us all, I think, of the stories of our childhood and how they retain a charm that nothing else can approach. I have marveled at watching my own children be mesmerized by dreams of a golden ticket and chocolate rivers and Oompa Loompas and lollipop forests and trees. Their eyes wide with imagination of the magical possibilities, all curated by this greatest magician of them all, by Willy Wonka, who sang to us of a world of pure imagination, a world of our own creation. Rabbi David Wolpe, my teacher from Los Angeles, reflected on the iconic role of Willy Wonka, and he wrote, "When we are older, we have dreams, but none of them gets close to the glow of the golden ticket. As adults, there are worlds we wish to be admitted to, back rooms or clubs, concerts or first-class seats, but they cannot compare to the yearning to step into the Wonka factory, the enchanted world behind the high gates." Children who are lucky enough to grow up in safety and security, they spend their childhood wanting to grow older. But when a world that they inhabit in their youth, what a world it is. As George Bernard Shaw once wrote, "Youth is the most precious thing in life. It's too bad it is wasted on children." But wasted or not, how lucky we all are to grow up with magical stories that possess a reservoir of wonder that lasts a lifetime. Children whose formative years were captured by Harry Potter, or an earlier age by Narnia, or Lord of the Rings, or Wizard of Oz, or Roald Dahl's wild imagination, all have an imaginative treasure trove that will last a lifetime. We would be wise not to dismiss those childhood fantasies as merely childhood things. Bruce Springsteen sang of them in his song Glory Days. He sang, "And I hope when I get old I don't sit around thinking about it, but I probably will. Yeah, sitting back trying to recapture a little of the glory of, well, time slips away and leaves you with nothing, mister, but boring stories of glory days." Those memories, they are important. They may be boring to others, but they are critically important to each of us. The dreams of our youth become, for many, if not most, the measure of our adult success and how we relate to what we wanted to be and what we ended up being. What did you want to be when you grew up? What crazy Rube Goldberg invention did you create on a notepad in your second period class in high school or in elementary school when you sketched on the back of your notebook that machine that would make your bed and feed your dog and do your homework and brush your teeth all with the pull of a lever? How did you imagine the stories that would be written about you as the hero of that great moment in history that had yet to happen? That was the world of Willy Wonka. That was the world of the Wizard of Oz. And it was so important for each of us because it got us through the angst of our childhood and our teenage years. And for some, those memories were like being a grown-up, made being a grown-up bearable. There's a company in Texas that for $500 will let you go back to kindergarten for a day. You can finger paint, have nap time, have cookies and apple juice, and play with crayons and blocks. They have a waiting list 4 months long for people that want to go back to childhood, back to kindergarten, back to the age of dreams and golden tickets and the Wizard of Oz. We are firmly rooted in our adulthood. Our mortgage, our jobs, our responsibilities, they keep us here, I know. Maybe for some, they imprison us here. But the magic of Wonka, of Oz, of Potter, is that our imaginations can be, that in our imaginations we can be children and free from all of that once again, if only for the 2 hours of a Netflix movie. School starts for most children this week. And with it, the last days of summer fade into the dim gray of the familiar Vancouver sky that will itself obscure some of the magic of this beautiful city. I have often thought that when summer comes, we are all children once again, if just for a few glorious summer months. No matter our age, the magic of this time of year is that it returns all of us to seekers of that golden ticket, to the followers of the yellow brick road. Summer is a time for dreaming, endless possibilities, lazy days by the pool, long evenings that chase the sun as we sit with our friends and tell stories of adventures and trips that we took or will take next year. Time stands still in summer. No longer measured by work weeks and school days, it is as elastic, like that endless taffy from the Wonka factory and the taffy puller. If you remember that scene. I hope that summer and its magic return us to simpler times. I pray that it lasts for all of us even as the skies grow cold and gray and even as our summer tan lines fade. And thanks to Gene Wilder, thanks, yes, to Netflix, we can always return there on cold, wet, rainy days. When my nieces and nephews were growing up and then my own children, it would be always in our family a very special day when we would pull out, and then it was a VHS tape, and then a DVD, and I guess now we stream it. We would pull out for them Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory for the very first time. Their minds would be filled with dreams of golden tickets, and their dreams would linger long into adulthood about candy rivers and giant gobstoppers. What a gift. What a gift that ability to dream and to imagine and to fantasize is. We are never too old to follow the yellow brick road. We just think that we are. Childhood and adulthood should be touched by magic wands and secret chocolates and Quidditch games. Summer fades. The world will become sober soon enough once again for all of us. God bless Gene Wilder and Harry Potter and Dorothy for giving us so much magic and enabling our dreams, our childhood dreams, our adult fantasies. May his memory be a blessing. Amen. Our service continues, page 586. We rise for Elenu.